Tynka with Koffee Kalcha.
Welcome once again right here where we're going to be giving you stories of how people started, how it is going business-wise, anything as long as you dare to dream. I'm Winnie and Blnr Anthony. Welcome to Tynka Global. This is where we get to meet amazing people. Now today with me I have two incredible, wonderful people who are the brains behind Koffee Kalcha. In a few, they're going to be telling us why Koffee Kalcha, what Koffee Kalcha is, what it stands for. But before we get there, how much coffee do you consume in a day? But anyway, welcome Blnr Anthony and Winnie. Karibu sana. How are you?
Thank you very much.
Asante.
Thank you for having us.
Karibu sana.
Yeah.
Now, before we even get into knowing how it started, what is Koffee Kalcha? Why Koffee Kalcha?
Well, Koffee Kalcha is a company that we registered last year, December.
Okay.
And mainly because we realized coffee consumption in Kenya is very low. People grow coffee. A lot of farmers grow coffee in the central part of Kenya, but they've never tasted their coffee. They don't even know how it tastes because Kenya is a tea drinking nation. So out of the total production of coffee in Kenya, 95% of it is exported, 5% is consumed locally. So Koffee Kalcha is a company that basically wants to promote the consumption of coffee in Kenya and to highlight the benefits of coffee to people who might otherwise be ignorant of the many benefits that coffee has. And that's where Koffee Kalcha was born.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, we're moving on in terms of that mission.
Absolutely amazing.
Yes.
So 95% of coffee is exported.
Kenyan coffee.
And we only take 5%?
Yes. Locally.
In fact, that is even going down from 5 to 3.
And in fact,
yes,
what we are taking is instant coffee. You know the 5 bob.
The sachet.
The sachets
Yeah.
for 5 bob.
Okay.
Or 7. I don't know right now. Everything is going up. The other day discovered that salt is also going up now. Anyway, so that's the one we take. Most of the time we think we're taking coffee, but really we're only just inhaling the nice smell of coffee. We are not getting
the coffee.
Yeah. And when I discovered that, I was like,
oh my goodness.
I have been waking up thinking I cannot go on without coffee. And then I reach out for my instant sachets and
but in truth you're not actually consuming coffee.
And then I go somewhere and I'm served coffee, real coffee. And I'm thinking, no. And I think for me, how I got to even want to do more about Kenyan coffee is I used to go to one of the restaurants in Nairobi. It's an Ethiopian restaurant, and they serve very good coffee. And they serve it with popcorn, and there's that kasmuk, incense, something, and it's so nice. And I was like,
so relaxing, so calming.
Yeah, this is nice. No. Is there something like this for Kenya?
Wow.
Because I think I'm very passionate about Kenyan stuff. Like, let's find out
more about Kenya.
Yeah. So when we came together, together with another director who's not here with us today, we said, you know what? We want to promote a vibrant coffee culture. So hence the name Koffee Kalcha, but with a twist. With the Kalcha.
Okay.
Yes.
Guys, it's Koffee Kalcha.
Kenyan twist.
Interesting facts right there. But now with that understanding of what Koffee Kalcha is, how did it start? As you said, you met your three with the director. Where did you guys sit and say, is it after, the Ethiopian incident? Phone calls, hey guys, can we meet? Can we talk about this coffee? Can we come up with something?
I like this one. Please let me answer this one.
Okay.
So we were, him and I, we would visit, would go to coffee events, visit coffee barista schools, and at one point we realized there's an expo. It's called Nyeri International Coffee Expo.
Yeah.
So we decided we'll go to that. And while we were there, we met the gentleman that is behind that, and then we got talking. He loved the idea.
He loved the idea as
we got talking, and of course he can pick up. He invited him to come over to Nairobi so we can talk more about it.
Well, prior to that, we've been supporting coffee farmers with an organic fertilizer over the last couple of years, the last 3 or 4 years. So we've been going to Nyeri, we've been going to Kirinyaga, where coffee is grown, even Kiambu. And so we realized that coffee has a very deep history that in the colonial era, anybody found drinking coffee, their hands will be chopped off or they'll be tortured. Okay? Because coffee was per se a Mzungu drink. You know, a Mzungu drink, not a Kenyan, not a local drink.
Wow, guys,
So there's a lot of hatred, and then people develop hatred for coffee. One, because of the torture. Two, because of the labor that was involved in planting and harvesting and processing coffee. So people opted for tea. And so you find our great-grandfathers who are growing coffee hated it because of that torture and that...
It's a bit of trauma behind
Yes.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, when I was growing up, I used to go to my dad's home, where I would pick coffee, even at night or when it's raining, for example. When it's raining, and then take it to the factory for processing, and would have to stay vigil because coffee was being stolen. You know, you take your coffee, you leave it will be stolen by people who knew more about coffee then.
Okay.
So you'd have to keep vigil till morning. So a lot of people developed a hatred for coffee. And that's why even today, even surpassing that 5% becomes an uphill task.
Yeah, and actually when we were kids, we were told, I was told when I was a kid, do not take coffee. Coffee is not for kids.
Yeah.
And then you start discovering that in some countries, children are taking coffee from the age of 4.
Yeah.
So, now when he's saying some of the farmers are not taking their own coffee, it makes you wonder why? There's nothing wrong with coffee. There are all sorts of benefits, and it's an antioxidant.
Yeah.
It helps with things like Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's.
There's just a whole list of the benefits of coffee, and now there are people who are using it to make cosmetic products with it. Like when we attended an SME conference and we found somebody using
coffee scrubs.
Yes, you saw that.
Yeah.
So you're like, no, we can do something more with coffee. Yes, we're not saying don't take tea. It's okay. But we're saying, why not coffee as well? You know?
Wow.
If we increase consumption, then it means the coffee houses need to have more coffee because more people are taking more coffee.
Yeah.
It means they get to go to the farmers and say, we want more coffee. And a young person who gets to inherit a farm from their father can start seeing value and say, you know what, I can even get into coffee farming. So it's a whole, it ends up affecting the entire coffee value chain and other businesses that support coffee.
Support coffee.
Yeah.
Allow me to add something there.
Yeah.
In a country like Ethiopia, 50 to 55% of their coffee is consumed locally. 50 to 55.
Yeah.
I think even that has gone up to 60. So what that does, that means the farmer has money. The person who opens a cafe has money because people are actually going and visiting his cafe to drink coffee. So on the streets, the way we find, is it Mutura in Nairobi, in Kenya,
or
maize,
Smokies.
or the Smokies.
Yeah.
Now in Ethiopia, it's coffee. So a lot of people drink coffee. There's a lady we visited in her restaurant called Olympia. She's Ethiopian. She's called Salome. You can mention her name. There's no secret.
Yeah, she's even on the YouTube channel.
Yes.
We posted something about her there.
Yeah.
Okay.
She told us, as girls, they started drinking coffee at the age of 4. 4 years. That's when they started drinking coffee. And
when we tell our kids, caffeine levels right there are crazy.
Yeah, when my niece comes and she wants to taste coffee, I taste her away. I tell her, it's not good for you.
Yeah.
But sometimes she will sneak and be like, oh, it's nice.
Yeah. So Salome, you met up and it was amazing. Again, the interaction was good.
She runs, in fact, maybe you can tell her story.
Yes.
It's an awesome story.
Her restaurant is called Olympia.
Yeah.
It's in Parklands, somewhere there. So she invites us. Actually, we met her when we went to a function at the Ethiopian embassy.
Yes.
And she was making this amazing coffee. She was on making that coffee with popcorn and everything.
Yeah.
So she invites us to a restaurant and we go. Of course, the Ethiopian experience is the anjera and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for the coffee.
Wow.
So then we get to talk more, and she tells us she was in transport business.
She was in transport, yes.
And they would wake up so early to get to go to work, and she would look for coffee because now she's from a country where they are taking coffee all the time. So of course this is her thing. So she would look for coffee every morning, but she wasn't getting what she was looking for. So that's how she got into. She said, no, I'll start making coffee for myself and other people around me who need it.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a restaurant.
And it becomes a thing for her.
It becomes a thing, and now she's on her way to opening another restaurant. We're waiting for, we can share more right now until I think when she's doing the opening and everything, and then we can go and have experience.
You've
that.
said quite a very interesting right there. She was in transport.
Yes.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, you're a musician, I
Yes, I
understand.
am a
You know?
musician.
You are a marketer.
Yes, I'm a marketer, I'm an MC, I
Farmer.
like speaking, I'm a farmer, I'm a network marketer. I like meeting people.
You like meeting people.
Yes.
And then boom, biashara
Boom.
ni kahawa.
Yes,
Kahawa.
and I'm in youth mentorship as well. So I'm hoping if this
How?
breaks forth,
Uh-huh.
I can invite younger people and tell them, Manze, it's not, you don't have to wait to graduate to get a job.
Yeah.
You can get into this.
You
These
can get
people
into
who are
this.
pushing, selling smokies. By the way, sorry to digress kidogo, but
Okay.
some people wake up to sell porridge. Do you know how much profit they make per day? About 800 to 1,000 per day.
Yeah.
But our problem as young people is we work that as we wait for a better job.
Yeah.
So imagine if you're doing coffee
Yeah.
and you're doing with some to snacks.
You'd make some
Yeah,
good
you don't
amount
have
of
to wait for
money.
your parent to give you money. I mean,
Yeah.
you're living in their house, they're paying your rent and feeding you and everything. Why should they give you money?
Yeah.
Why should they give you
You
money?
know.
I'd
So
love
this
to-
is a whole. This is not just about coffee now.
It's a
we're
whole
thinking
future.
long term. We're thinking, how does it create impact? Also, we take it, but it also makes our lives better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to understand how a marketer and a musician came to start Koffee. When was that bulb moment? When did it start? Like you said, okay, today we're registering.
Yes.
We're going to go forth with this,
Yeah.
and this is how we're going to get capital. This
Yeah.
is how we're going to do it. Take us through that journey, because I think that's where we get to see the dream
Okay.
come into
Yeah.
fruition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and for us, it started at the event in Nyeri. Nice. Nyeri International Coffee Expo. And interacting with farmers. Because the Nyeri Expo is pegged towards the farm. But there's nothing pegged towards the cup. The consumption. People have, there were a lot of companies in the agribusiness sector, tractors and all this, fertilizer and all that. So for us, we realized there's so much attention given towards the farmer, and that it's all okay, it's all good, because again, we export the coffee.
Yeah.
And so for us, the aha moment came during that event. That there was a lot of coffee it was a coffee event, but coffee companies were few. The main ones that
Yeah.
you'd expect to see,
Yeah.
quite few there. But there were more farmers. There were more companies presenting what they can do to support the farmer. And so it dawned on us that really we need something that the Javas, the art cafes, the brioche of this world, who are in Nairobi right now,
Yeah.
can come together under one roof and showcase what they have. Tell people you can take your coffee with Baileys and becomes Irish coffee. You can do your coffee this way with plant-based milk from dairy milk, and then still enjoy your cup of coffee. You get? So for us, that particular, it was in October.
Yes.
October. And then
Yeah.
October
of
is
20...
Was it October or November?
November.
I think it was November.
November.
of
Yes.
2021,
2021. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So that's how we got talking to our fellow colleague, director who's not here. His name is Solomon.
Yeah.
And we said let's come together and form a company that will focus on the consumer.
on the consumer.
Give the consumer an experience that makes them realize, oh, coffee is good.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I can get into business with coffee, why not?
Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
So you've come all the way, you've created the company. Where does Koffee Kalcha, because I understand there's an event coming up
Yes.
on the 5th and 6th of May.
May.
Koffee Kalcha.
We'll talk about that in a short while.
In a short while. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, what we wanted to do, her being a musician, we said, can we do something called a coffee jazz mix?
And that was
We
way
bring
before.
together-
That was way before
Yeah.
even going to Nyeri.
Yes.
So that's where it all started.
Yeah.
Like we're coffee lovers. We love discovering about coffee. So
Yes.
hence the coffee jazz mix.
Yeah. I was involved in coffee with another company a couple of years ago. It's a multi-level marketing company, and we're using coffee as a product. And that coffee is basically meant to be alkaline and not acidic, because we're mixing that coffee with a herb called ganodama. Ganodama is a mushroom that's grown in China. So they were infusing that coffee with that herb. And so for us to really get people to drink that coffee, we'll do a coffee jazz mix in your own house, in my own house. We just call people, we do a jazz, soft jazz, and serve coffee.
So that's how the
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
It was, yes.
That's how the musician comes to play.
Yes.
Now we see
Yes. That's how
I
the
love
music
that.
comes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the musician loves for people to have fun more than just the music.
More than just the music.
I'm into food as well. So just if we can have both music and coffee
and
and some
coffee.
two snacks,
That's good.
I feel that's a party. That's a good
party.
day.
Can we find your mix somewhere, your jazz playlist? You know, when I'm lying to myself, when I'm sniffing the coffee, I can feel good.
You can, of course. I have a YouTube channel. There's one song on it. So far. There's more coming.
More coming.
There's more
Ya
coming.
kukunywa kahawa. This is just to take your coffee.
I shared it with our director.
That's
Ivy.
nice. That's nice.
So
That's nice.
yeah, we can share the link after this.
You can share the link.
Yeah.
So we come through, we've opened with them, we see how the musician is coming to play. Sourcing capital, was it crazy? You know, the challenges through it. Was it like, okay guys, you know, we have an idea, but who's coming through with the money? You know, the money needs to come through.
Yeah. Well, yes, it's been a challenge. And why? Because a lot of companies are still recovering from COVID. So we approach banks that already like have funds put aside for coffee farmers or for coffee events, but they've told us, guys, maybe not now, maybe in future. We've approached quite a number of people. So funding has been a major issue. The other thing we realize in Kenya is that people are working in silos. Java maybe wants to do their own thing, Dormant's their own, Nestle their own, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. So our mission will be to bring them together and say, listen guys, we are all in this space. Can we promote Kenyan coffee? Because that's what we buy and export. And so there has been no voice really.
There's no been voice. It's more of competition.
It's more of competition, not collaboration. So what we want to bring is collaboration, not competition. Because if we have a few cows here, they can't eat all this grass. You know, so one will eat there, one will eat there. So people can work in collaboration and not in isolation.
And not in isolation. I love that.
And of course, increasing that local consumption benefits them.
Yes.
That makes sense.
If I'm nearer to Caldi's, I'll go and take coffee at Caldi's because now I know more about coffee. If I'm nearer to Java, I'll do the same.
Then drive all the way from somewhere because you know your
just
favorite
because
coffee
I
is
gotta get
somewhere.
here, you know, for this and that. And apart from them, there's other stakeholders as well. There's people who are coffee machine manufacturers who, you know, can show up and have a Kenyan, like me, for example. We got a gift of Java coffee, the beans.
Yes.
But I don't have the grinder at home. So I just walked into Java and I told them, have your coffee. I'd like to take it, please grind it for me. But it would be awesome if I can get the grinder for myself.
Yes.
Do it at home, have the coffee making machine at home. Because they have both for commercial and for home use as well. So this event that we were saying we'd like to do, is to let the consumer know this is what you can do with coffee, this is the machine you can use, this is how it's used. Because what we are asking is come and also demonstrate. It's okay if you serve me a cup of coffee, but if you involve me in that process, it becomes more interesting and I see, it's not so hard. I can do this at home as well.
That's interesting. It's not so hard, it's collaborative. Come on. On the 5th. I'm a bado.
Allow us to say something.
Yes.
We might have to postpone that event.
Okay.
Because one, we've been looking for sponsors. And that has been a challenge, even getting one sponsor. Despite people loving coffee, people saying we want to attend, it's been very difficult getting a sponsor. So we're thinking if we can't do it in May, then October would be the best month. Because October 1st is International Coffee Day. But last year and the years before, nothing happens in Nairobi on that particular day.
Just probably mentioning it and just saying
he walked into Art Cafe he was alone on that day, so we were not together. So later he tells me, I walked in And I'm asking about International Coffee Day,
And
they
no one
don't
knows
know.
about it.
You know, and yeah, so we're thinking if we don't get to do it now,
Yeah.
we could target that time and do something around that time. However, not to stop, to still be in that coffee space.
Yes.
Even if there are small little events we can do leading to that, you know, have pop-ups where people are just coming, we're collaborating maybe with a coffee house to do coffee tastings, you know, things like that. Just introduce it, just get people used to it.
Yeah.
And hopefully by then, either we will be able to sponsor it ourselves, the event, or get somebody else.
What do you deem the main challenge in trying to get the sponsors?
One is just the coffee uptake. Now, in January, I think 12 to 15, there was Dubai Coffee Festival. Attracted 12,355 people. 12,355. 48 countries attended.
Yeah.
Dubai does not grow coffee.
Wow.
They don't grow coffee. You call an event in Kenya, do an event here, 1,000 people will show up. And you're lucky if they do show up. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
And then in February, there was an event in Kigali, Rwanda. Africa Fine Coffees Association Conference and Expo. 966 people attended. 966. It was a 3-day event. Compared to 12,000. Now, what are we saying? If we do an event in Nairobi, attract 12,000 people, hotels will be full. Cab drivers will have business. Mahindi, watakuchoma mahindi. If you're roasting maize, you'll have some business. So there would be a lot of business, ripple down effects, if we did a major coffee event. So, yes, the challenge has been just getting people to listen, to talk about coffee. Now we see countries or destinations where coffee is not grown. Amsterdam Coffee Festival, London Coffee Festival, San Francisco Coffee Festival, but very few or none at all in Kenya. A country that grows coffee, a country that grows, Arabica coffee that's sought after in the world, but no event. No event at all.
Yeah, our coffee is apparently one of the best in the country. And you see, when we want to do this event, it's not only coffee people who are coming to this event, like he has mentioned. You know, you want to have banks there, so that if somebody comes and they say, oh, I want to expand my business, or a farmer says, I want to get machines for my farm and whatever, so I can make my own coffee, they can get asset financing. We want to have barista schools. We want young people to come interact with these lecturers and find out, could I make a career out of this? Because right now, we know that Kenya is producing some of the best baristas, and they are being called outside the country. They are on demand out there, you know. So, if everyone comes, you know, this benefits everyone.
It benefits everyone.
Transport, banks, you know, the people providing water. We had a water company even telling us they'd like to bring us water free of charge. Just bring us water. You know.
And that's a whole new topic.
Exactly.
Because the taste of coffee is dependent also on the water that you use.
The type of water.
You might use hard water, and the taste will be different vis-a-vis someone who's using soft water. So there has to be a balance.
And all this is information that is not out there.
It's not out there.
So we're just making coffee with any water.
At this festival,
Not a borehole.
at this festival, you're drinking coffee, you're getting to taste it, you're getting to learn how it's made. Other people in the coffee space are also learning things that they may not know. I mean, I have met people who have coffee farms in Embu and are producing their own coffee. I'd like to mention one of them that I keep saying. There's coffee called Njambi coffee. You know, all we know, those of us here in Nairobi, is I want coffee, I go to
this particular sachet and this particular sachet.
But I don't see Njambi coffee in the supermarket.
That's very true.
So doing something like this introduces people to, like we're saying, yes, business has competition. However, collaboration makes things even better. You get to learn from each other. You get to give people a good experience. I think it was at the SME conference, there was a coffee house that was doing a drink, a very nice cold drink. They were calling it sunflower something, with coffee.
Revolutionary.
Yes, revolutionary coffee. You know, so if everybody just brought their best foot forward, I mean, and let me go back to music. You see, as a musician, I cannot, if you're a musician and I'm a musician, everybody has their uniqueness. if I insist on doing everything by myself, people get tired of the same flavor. But when sometimes I do by myself, and then sometimes we come together, and people get, so the people may even want this team more, which ends up even giving us more revenue, more whatever, because we are collaborating and not competing with each other. You know. Okay.
And I'd like to mention something. I think it was last month. There was a video that went viral of a lady called Margaret Nyamumbo. In the US, she was pitching to the Shark Tanks, you know, Kahawa 1893, and she got some good funding, you know, for her Kahawa 1893, 1893, $350,000, and they were competing who will take 8% of her company. Kenyan coffee. Okay, she supports women coffee farmers, both in Ethiopia and Kenya, but mainly her coffee is from Kenya, from Africa, from the African region.
Yes. Really.
So when I saw people, Shakhtar billionaires competing for a stake
in her company. Yeah.
And then the same thing doesn't happen in the country where that coffee is grown. There's a bit of, you know,
it's scary. It can be a bit scary.
Bittersweet
feeling.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you've mentioned a couple of companies. You've gotten to see your dream. Now it's iko kwa ground.
Yes.
Would you love to involve the government in this dream to some extent? Because if the government knows we're producing this much coffee. How do we involve them? How do we tell them, hey, is this also?
Well, one of the things we've done and places we've gone is the Coffee Directorate, where we've had a lot of meetings with them, because they also have the same mandate to promote consumption of Kenyan coffee.
Yes.
And so when we spoke to them and sat down with them, there was a sync, because we're trying to do the same thing. And so that's a government body that would actually be doing what we are doing, or holding our hand
as we do,
or partnering together. In fact, my feeling would have been that they would have been the people to actually sponsor this event. Fully, without, fully 100%, because we're promoting coffee. And so we're still in that process of talking, of sending MOUs with the coffee,
Okay. So the talks are still in. Okay, that's nice.
Yes.
Finally, however much the event has probably been postponed.
Yes.
I love the fact that you talk about people who may deem themselves stakeholders. Like me, I'm a coffee consumer. Probably now I know I am a stakeholder, right? Probably I've been smelling coffee now with new information.
There are people who actually just buy coffee beans, put them in their house for the aroma.
For the aroma.
Yeah.
It's called ornamental coffee.
Ornamental coffee.
Yeah, so those are also stakeholders.
We're all stakeholders. So anyone who deems themselves, even if it's in October, they should just come through. You're talking to coffee roasters,
coffee machine manufacturers, coffee. Even the farmers who already have packaged coffee and have baristas making coffee, they can still bring their coffee and have a taste of their coffee.
Their coffee. Finally, as we probably get to the end of this, because we've gotten a lot of information, absolutely amazing facts, where do you see coffee culture in the next 1, 2, 3, probably let me say 5 years? Where do you want it to be?
We see coffee culture doing major events in Africa. And we wanted to start in Nairobi. And as we were planning this, we got a call from somebody in Makueni, saying, we do coffee around this area. Why don't you also do the same thing?
Yeah, and the other company that was asking us, would you do this in Mombasa?
In Mombasa.
So we don't even know if people in Mombasa are consuming a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
But hey, if you think we can collaborate and do this in Mombasa, sure, we can be there.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
And we also see ourselves as anybody who needs a barista can come to us and say, listen, who would you recommend? From which schools? Because of our networks. Because we're working with coffee barista schools. Now, a place like Nyeri that grows coffee, there is no barista school. All the young people have to come either to Nairobi or Ruiru or Thika, but there's no barista school in Nyeri. So we'd like to have as many barista schools, because we've seen an influx of people who are trained here going to UAE, GCC countries, to actually become coffee baristas. But the ones who are left behind end up not having any employment.
And if we keep doing this, if we keep talking about this coffee. People like that can even get into self-employment with the knowledge they have, the skill, the experience they have as baristas as well. So even though we are saying we are postponing this, we want to still do things leading to that in between.
In between.
It's just now, of course, with everything in life, you have to readjust, restart as many times as possible. We like to watch Lisa Nichols, and she likes to use, what is that she says, that you keep going, you give yourself 1,000 chances, and when you get to 999, you still press again. You still have...
You press reset.
You know, so it's just to keep readjusting, re-strategizing, but still... you focus on that thing that you'd like to do. So we want to promote Kenyan coffee. If we are not able to do a big coffee event right now, there are other small things we can do in between leading to that.
And true to that, what Winnie has said, would like to see or propose to the county government of Nairobi to actually have October as a coffee celebration month. Similar to what Kate Brown of Oregon, USA did last year. She actually did a declaration that October is a coffee celebration month. So we'd like to see that happening in Nairobi in conjunction with the county government of Nairobi. Honorable Sakaja.
Yes.
So we'd love to see that.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. We have to go big, guys. This is the purpose of daring to dream. This is the purpose of actually wanting to achieve your dreams. We've seen how it started, guys. It's all about daring to dream. You start with, oh my goodness, I've seen people in Nyeri, and I'm thinking, why not? They've come all through, they've organized an event, probably not this time, but as it comes, you are a stakeholder, come through, and now there's even a bigger dream. Schools, networking in terms of coffee, come through. This is the reason why we dare to dream. Now, as we finish up, one thing, tell Kenyans to consume coffee. What would you love to tell that person or that farmer who doesn't consume their own coffee? Jaribu tuonja tu kidogo.
Now, it's very, very difficult for a farmer to bargain for a high price if he doesn't know what he has. I cannot sell this small jacket of my shirt if I don't know the value of my shirt. So any farmer who's doing coffee, let them have a dryer where they can actually dry their own beans and grind it and taste it. Yes. And give it to people around, in terms of family members. Taste my coffee. You cannot be sending coffee to the exchange, yet we don't know how it tastes. You've never made a cup of coffee in your own house from your own farm. So, and then even people who are right now, it's very difficult. It will be a challenge trying to change the mind of someone who's 60 and above to consume coffee. But the ones who are young, the 25s, the 20, the 18, the 30s, those are the people who would like to consume more coffee. Yes. Yeah.
And I'd like to add, well, it's not enough to tell someone, go and buy coffee and take it.
Yeah.
To the one who feels they know nothing about coffee, there are places where you can go and get a coffee tour. And I can mention one where we went to, Fairview Coffee Estate in Kiambu Road, just opposite KISS. You get a tour. You're given the history of coffee. You get to see the different types of coffee, beans and leaves. You're taken through the process of how coffee is made. And the icing of the cake is you're actually taken through tasting of the coffee. So there's medium roast, there's light roast, and then you even get to buy the coffee there. And then finally you go and sit and have a cup of coffee with cookies. And you get to learn more about this coffee. So we're not just saying you just consume coffee. Research. Get some knowledge, get your own experience with it, and when you're consuming coffee, you know what you're doing. You're not just taking because somebody told you to take.
And with that, I think we can follow you on your YouTube channel, get to know more about coffee, because I see you've dedicated your channel to informing us about coffee. I'm so sure so many people have noticed there's so many things we don't know about coffee.
Yes.
As little as the water you're using really determines the kind of coffee you're gonna take. So guys, I think this has been an amazing session. Dare to dream, keep on dreaming. This is what we love to hear. Asante.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I hope you enjoy.